So, Digger has hurt himself pretty badly, and today's episode is all about how we're going to fix him. If you're wondering why he's wearing a muzzle, stick around. It's all part of the story. Welcome to Dog Happy, where our goal is happier, healthier dogs, one interview at a time. I'm Missy, and in today's episode, we will explore how we help Digger feel better by using chiropractic care for your dog. If you are joining us from the podcast, please go below in the show notes, and the time code you can jump to is linked right there. If you're new to Dog Happy, welcome. It's great to have you. So in today's episode, we will be joined by Digger, my sister's silver lab. He is typical lab. He loves water, he loves food, and he loves his toy time. Unfortunately, it was during one of those games of toy that he really hurt himself. Digger is the kind of guy who likes to run and then get his ball and then jump around on his ball. And it was during one of those afternoon play sessions where he just kind of stopped suddenly and you could tell something was wrong. He tried to sit down, but his butt really wasn't touching the floor very much. He was kind of hunched over and he just really had a strained look on his face. And then the old paw came up off the ground, which, is doggy language for this is really bad, mama. Normally, this would require a vet visit, but Digger had hurt himself before, so we had pain medication on hand. We immediately gave him a dose and then helped him into the dog bed where he could rest and wait for the medication to kick in. In the meantime, we decided to use hot and cold to try and reduce the inflammation, of course, making sure that it wasn't too hot or too cold. Unfortunately, by the next morning, we could see that Digger was not much better. He was sitting much more hunched over, he was very unwilling to walk, and he was limping quite a bit. So we had to look into something else. I've thrown out my back a couple times, so I knew how fast chiropractic could work at relieving pain and discomfort. So we decided to use that for Digger too. So before we head off to Digger's appointment, let me explain a little bit about chiropractic and why it works so well. Whether a dog or a human, we all have a communication superhighway that runs through our body. Those are the nerves that run from your brain, through your spine, and down your back. But did you know those same nerves exit the spine at certain points and go deeper into organs and tissues? An easy way to visualize that communication is to think about the last time you were watering something with a hose. So you start watering and water's flowing out great, but then you move a little bit and maybe the hose kinks up and the water slows down. And you figure, okay, no big deal. You can make it work. So you move a little bit more and that kink either gets deeper, so it maybe cuts off the flow, or more kinks form, which then in turn keep slowing the water down. In the body, that water would equate to nerve impulses. A chiropractic adjustment removes those kinks, so healthy communication is restored. I'm sure it's easier now to understand why that crick in your dog's neck could be contributing to their chronic ear infections or head shaking. One more thing before we head out. For those of you who were curious why Digger was wearing a muzzle. So I think muzzles are excellent tools, and you will see further episodes really diving deep into what the benefits are of using a muzzle. But in this instance, Digger is a touchy guy, and he's hurt. And we're taking him to an appointment with a doctor that has to get very close to him. So it really is for his benefit not to make poor decisions and also for the doctor's protection. In this instance, when you see Digger's appointment, you will see that he did not need to wear the muzzle. Dr. Froling felt comfortable with the way Digger was acting, and Digger, you could visually see that he had relaxed and was fine in that environment. So without further ado, let's go ahead and head off to see Dr. Froling at Full Circle Equine and Small Animal Service for Digger's appointment.
Basically what I do when I adjust them, so I go through and I kind of feel everything. I put a force through it, does it move? So this right pelvis, that's not moving, that is.
Okay.
You can kind of see it. See
Yeah.
it move there?
Mm-hmm.
And this side doesn't move. Okay?
Do you want to come in a little more, Pat?
So let me show you again?
Yeah.
So this side moves. Side does it.
Okay.
So then, easy buddy. You don't want to do it well. And then I'm going down his spine and asking each joint in his back, each vertebra, to move. So this hand is stationary, I'm supporting him, and I'm swaying his body and then feeling the motion all the way down.
Okay.
And then I switch, I can let me switch hands. Stand up.
Dig up.
There we go.
Up.
Switch hands. Actually, he's moving pretty good through here. All right, that one is not moving as well as that one is.
Okay.
Okay, so now I set up on it. I'm balancing him on the other side with this hand. I'm gonna adjust it.
Okay.
There we go. So I'm gonna come back and get this. So I'm up underneath him. There we go, buddy. You're a good boy. So he's looking and chewing. That just means it felt good.
Yes.
Easy, friend. So I'm just checking his neck. What a boy.
You have him?
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go. There we go.
So what is it when you get your neck adjusted and you hear that big crack and
Yeah,
pop?
so that is air in your joints.
Air in our joint.
Yeah, and it just forces the air out. And they call it an audible. So you can hear it.
Okay.
And a lot of times you get adjusted and there's no audible. That doesn't mean you didn't get a good crack.
Right.
You know, or it didn't work. It just means there was no air there. Come here, baby. Come on, thank you. So now I'm working on his shoulder. It's still pretty stiff. There we go. Much better. Let me see. Oh, you're okay. Just doing his toes. Okay. Do this other side.
Now Digger is 8 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And I have seen it recommended that dogs over 7 would benefit from chiropractic.
Mm-hmm.
And why is that?
Well, because they've had 7 years of wear and tear.
Okay.
I think dogs of any age. We see dogs that are puppies that come in for chiropractic, especially if they're born by C-section, because they didn't get that big push out of the birth canal, so it didn't open everything up. So a lot of times they bring those puppies in and we adjust them, and then they thrive better.
Oh.
They start eating better, they start growing faster, they kind of catch up.
So how do we tell if Digger's not limping or Digger's not having any outward signs that he's tight? How would we know that he needs to come back in for an adjustment or in for an adjustment in the first place?
Okay. Well, if a dog is older, 4 or 5 years, it's a good idea to get him checked. I mean, I can't just look at him and tell you unless it's, obviously not moving.
Right.
But I can definitely put my hands on him and move and tell you when that vertebra's not moving.
Okay.
I would say if dogs have chronic disease, they should get adjusted. If they have chronic skin disease, if they are a young dog and they've already had multiple tumors removed, if they have really bad allergies, a lot of times adjusting them will help. Chronic ear infections. I've had dogs come in with chronic ear infections and we adjust them and the ear infections slow down or go away.
Okay.
Because things can be jam crammed. You never know. Dogs that chase squirrels in a fenced-in yard and hit that fence multiple times, they can change the architecture of their neck. There's so many kind of repeated micro traumas that we encounter in our lives. And the more things that you run into or play hard with, or if you're destructive in your house and you chew your crate up and you chew your crate up and you chew things up in the house and you're constantly throwing your body into things, yeah, you probably need adjusted.
Okay.
So, and the athletes, a lot of people are getting into using their dogs for agility, rally, all different kinds of things, dock diving, swimming, all those things. Those dogs would benefit from an adjustment.
Okay.
Hi, you're a very good boy.
Somebody feels better.
Yes. When your dog actively stretches, he does, downward dog, stretches out the back, turns his head, if he looks like a dancer, then he feels good. If he's not doing that, then he probably needs adjusted.
Hey guys, that was a pretty incredible appointment, right? We're gonna have Digger demonstrate kinks in the hose for us. As you can see, it's I think now take number 250, but he's having a great time, so who cares? So, before chiropractic, blood flow through the body, nerve impulses, flow freely with no problem.
a small kink, a bigger kink. Chiropractic adjustment goes in, opens it up, and blood and nerve impulses can flow freely again. And Digger feels good and has a wonderful time. Thank you guys so much for joining us. If you like this episode, please hit the like button. If you'd like to subscribe, please hit the subscribe button. See you in the next episode. Stay happy.